Hello and welcome to the Schooner Simulation. I'm your host, Michael Wittman, and today's episode is sponsored by Raycon. Get 15% off today when you use code TPPN15 at checkout. The Sooners and the Longhorns are gearing up for the most iconic college football rivalries 2022 installment. For those that are new, we'll be watching this game play out in NCAA Football 14 with the AI on Heisman level difficulty and analyzing the gameplay footage. The updated rosters, courtesy of the Operation Sports Forum, ensure that our teams are up to date and the college football revamped modification makes them look their best. Check out links to both in the description below. Texas, as the visiting team, will be put in their white jerseys and Oklahoma will be sporting crimson. The iconic Cotton Bowl inside the historic Dallas Fairgrounds really meets the Texas autumn conditions. According to the Schooner Weather Composite, kickoff will start with a 5-mile-an-hour wind and overcast, and the temperature will gradually rise from 72 to around 80 over the course of the game. Pay attention to the news to see if rain comes into the picture as well. I ran a few Super Sims to preview this matchup, and it looks like this year, similar to many other years, will be a close one. The Sooner offense takes the field, and counter to everything we've seen this year, the first drive ends with Dillon Gabriel going deep to Marvin Mims for a 70-yard touchdown pass. The name of the game on this offense is risk, and this offense wasn't afraid to take some. This ends about as well as one might expect, with some amazing plays popping off along with some pretty stupid decisions. Sacks and incompletions aplenty, the fault of which falls on the entire team, is at least covered up in part by 20-yard passes and both Eric Gray and Marcus Major securing a handful of yards anytime they touch the rock. While completion percentage didn't go up, I am happy to say the quality of completions did go up, with many, if not all passes, going for at least 7 yards. This is a stark contrast to the screen passes and short routes of previous weeks that led to the heartbreaking losses we've seen. LV Bunkley Shelton finds the lion's share of touchdowns, so if you're looking for a breakout story this year, keep a lookout for number 6. The offense, being its most productive in weeks, got the job done today. OU's defense showed so many weaknesses last week and really needed to ensure they fixed them for this matchup against the Heisman-level running back Bijan Robinson and a newly healed-up Quinn Ewers. While it looked good on paper, the performance itself was fairly sloppy. Some of the sacks and tackles for losses recorded were only because we had multiple men crashing effectively to assist when the ball carrier breaks free from 2 tackles. We still don't know how to read the QB, and Ewers burns us with mobility the same way Martinez and Duggan did the past few weeks, but had very little time in the pocket to make any throwing decisions to burn us downfield. It definitely helped that Xavier Worthy got injured early on in the game, taking away a precious weapon for the Longhorns. With this double-edged sword came a lack of confidence as a viewer that our defense was reliable, and luck, alongside Texas's own issues producing results, might be the only reason the Sooners were able to keep Texas contained. Regardless of the reason, you are already seeing the score bug at the bottom of the screen. In the scrappiest of performances, OU demolishes Texas in a shutout performance, 31-0. You astute viewers out there probably saw Dillon Gabriel playing and are wondering, what about the injury? What if Beveler Evers ends up our starting QB? First, don't you put that hex on us. Second, I'll level with you, the sim isn't equipped to handle this since the non-starting players are ranked lower by default. Just to humor y'all, I ran the sim with both of them and the results aren't pretty to look at. I feel like a broken record here with the NCAA Football 14 rivalry games have added randomness, so take it with a grain of salt bit, but even the other sims I ran show us that what we saw today is an outlier performance. OU shutting Texas out in Dallas would be a massive comeback story, morale booster, and a reason not to give up on the season completely. However, I believe the reality is going to be much less rosy. A win in general here would surprise me. Our keys to victory here are not only to get lucky, but finally nail down these issues we know we've been having for the past few weeks. If we can patch up the obvious issues, we take away the obvious scoring routes for the Longhorns, and hopefully our offense can figure out the rest. Enjoy this year's OU Texas, and for those of you going to the State Fair, be sure to tune in to the Schooner Pod to hear the latest in Corny Dog-related news.